It farted.
That, ladies and gentlemen, that is my 1984 BMW 528e. I daily drove that car in high school until that M20 B27 blew up on me, dropped a valve, and the summer going into my senior year, I swapped that engine for an M52 B28 out of an E36. After years of slowly adding parts and pieces to that car, I left it sitting abandoned in my mom's garage. But now we get to finally put that car to use. I have 4 weeks to tow this car home, rebuild it entirely. Then we gotta get it over to Boise, enter the Nitty Gritty Rally Cross, and we're gonna drive the absolute piss out of it. So stay tuned, grab some popcorn, because I've got a lot of work to do. I drained my cooling system the other day after work, pulled the radiator, got all that out. Now I need to pull the drive shaft, I have to pull the exhaust, and then I need to unplug 2 plugs, because there's a plug on the ECU and a plug on the fuse box, and then drain the power steering. After that, we can pull the engine. So I got a couple more things to do. Let's get to it. My pile of parts is getting big. The engine is ready to pull. Last thing I gotta do is unbolt the mounts. Nice and easy. But first I gotta build this crane. I got the 1-ton crane and it is too short. So I need to pull off my big bumper here. The old E28 diving boards. Yank that thing off real quick and that should give us plenty of room to tuck the crane in and pull the engine. But that's hilarious. I didn't realize it was too short. Alright, hang on, I gotta use a transmission bolt or something. Because I was grabbing it over here and then it made the engine all tippy, so I'm gonna try to grab it more back there. Might have to pull off the intake. Okay, we got the intake off. I got a nice bolt hole there on the block. Got my wiring harness hanging on. Yeah, that should be good. Let me get that bin out of there though.
Alright.
Got my little catch bit. Okay. Let me set the audience down. Oh, it's out. Okay, okay. Everybody's alive. Okay. Okay. All right. Now that we got the engine out, you can see why I needed to pull it. Because my transmission tunnel has a big old finger-sized gap in it. Because 2 years ago I cut the entire transmission tunnel out to fit the larger transmission and engine in. And you saw how tight of a squeeze that was in the engine bay. So there's the seam all the way around cut. I put this stupid little panel in. That was a younger me deciding I wanted to try to put like a strip of, I don't know, like a 45-degree plate instead of just welding like a 90-degree, two seams together at 90. I tried to kind of bridge the gap with a 45-degree. We're cutting all that out, don't worry about it. So it's the next day. Before I lose my light here, I'm going to show you guys real quick in the engine bay. Some of the damage still. Got that big gap. We're going to hammer all up in here so that it fills this gap nicely, backs up against the firewall. And then I'm going to go in, tack weld it to the firewall, and then cut away whatever excess firewall and nonsense we have in the corner here. So tonight we're going to be working on that a bit. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it tonight, but at least we'll get a really good start. Now you can see what we're working with a little better. Got quite a bit. I gotta angle grind all those tack welds. Get the flappy disc in there, make them nice and smooth again. Because that stuff's all pretty jagged around there, but yeah, pretty big gap. Pretty big gap all the way around that I gotta fill. So now that I got that panel cut out of there, I think I'm just gonna kind of get a big hammer and start roughing in the transmission tunnel, getting it moved up behind the firewall a bit. folks, so it's the end of week 1. We have gotten the car home and we are in the middle of rebuilding the BMW. I've got the tunnel all cleaned up, looking nice and pretty. We are ready to weld. I've got the tunnel lightly reshaped. All the seams are rust free, and I used a big crazy angle grinder attachment to remove all that flammable underbody liner. Take a look at that beautiful transmission tunnel as we go into week 2. What's up everybody? We're back for weekend number 2 with the rally car, and today we're going to be finishing up the transmission tunnel. So I'm going to be welding the whole seam along the transmission tunnel around the bell housing, and then about 1 to 2 feet back along just kind of the base of the tunnel. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So got a lot of work to do. Let's get to it. This corner looking pretty good. Starting to kind of stretch out the top here. And then over here again, I got that corner looking pretty good. The bottom still got quite a few holes down there, you know, but over along here, pretty good seam, nice and closed up. I got a gap there that I need to hammer out a little bit, get that closed up a little bit. And then along the top, I got about 4 or 5 inches up there that's doing pretty good. So couple of gaps that need to be closed up still, and then we can weld those up. But yeah, just kind of been welding a little bit, hammer the gap closed, weld a little bit, hammer the gap closed, weld a little bit. So pretty slow goings, but we're getting it. update. Camera's almost dead, but I got everything except for this little seam up here at the top. So I've been heating up in here in the transmission tunnel. What's up, everybody? It's day 2, and last night I got pretty carried away. I didn't film much of it, but I got the tunnel all welded up. I spent most of the night working, got a good seam all the way around. There was quite a bit of filling I had to do up here. It's pretty ugly, but today we're going to be filling these holes down here along the bottom, making that look nice and good, and then we're going to get grinding, clean it up, smooth it down, make it look pretty as I can get it, fill any little pinholes, and then we're going to seal this all up with some bed liner. Alright, so we're all patched up. They don't look great, but they're sealed, so it'll do good enough. I also fixed a couple little cracks along my shifter hole here. And yeah, so I'm gonna get grinding, get this thing, you know, looking semi-decent. Nothing crazy, but I wanted to get it probably all looking like that. And then we'll paint it. Alright, I got everything looking decent enough that I can put some paint on top of it. Looks semi-presentable, so I'm gonna go through, Scotch-Brite all these little areas with ground down metal, anything that's got some kind of surface rust on it, paint all the inside white, and then I'm gonna go into the transmission tunnel, and I'm gonna paint all of the exposed metal in the transmission tunnel white, just so I don't have any rust problems, and then the whole transmission tunnel is getting a good layer of bed liner. Okay, it's Sunday morning, super cold, got a ton of progress done last night, got the transmission tunnel totally done, it's all painted, looks super good, super nice, nice and pretty, the bed liner's all good underneath, transmission tunnel, I mean it looks great, so cut to some B-roll right now. Stupid jack. that's cool. My car steering's leaking too.
You know, I don't think that's gonna be tall enough, dude.
Yeah. I know, my jack has like no pressure in it. I bought this thing a week ago. That's what.
Oh, damn.
Harbor Freight is very hit or miss.
Yeah, sometimes you can get gold there.
I bought this a week ago. I think I just need the pressure out. So we'll set this back down real quick. Alright, we got all the air out of the pistons, so it should work. Come on, Harbor Freight Jack. You're gonna do this to me.
Is it sinking?
It's not sinking, but it doesn't take any more. It's kind of a really big pocket of air to me or something.
Dang.
Like this. Might have to go to Harbor Freight. So here we are. We're 2 weeks in. The transmission tunnel looks amazing. My chassis is ready for its new life as a rally car. But my silly little 1-ton jack has left me stranded. We spent the majority of that day bleeding that thing out to no avail, and so I gave up. Something I not often do. So I spent that night crying, and the next week away on Thanksgiving, I was itching to get my hands back on that jack. All that and way more in the next episode.